Hi everyone. This week I'd like to talk about humility. In this week's parsha is Balak. Balak is a story about the king of Midian and Moab who want to curse the Jewish people, and they hire this great prophet Bilam to curse the Jewish people. Bilam can speak to God it says on the highest levels of prophecy, almost like Moshe Rabbeinu, or even equal to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's pretty big stuff. And yet when they send the delegation, Bilam speaks with God, and in chapter 22, verse 13, Rashi points out that he doesn't want to inform them that God said he can't go to curse the people. He says to them, you know what? Your delegation, you guys are not of the greatest stature of people, and therefore, I'm not going with you. You need to send more important people. That was a sign of his conceit, of his haughtiness, and his ego. Bilam's ego gets in the way of his spiritual prowess. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Chapters of Our Fathers, chapter 19, I think it's the Mishnah 18, that says that if you want to be the student of Avraham Avinu, of Abraham our father, then you're a person who should have a ayin tova, a good eye, a ruach nemucha, a humble spirit, v'nefesh shfala, and a modest soul. But you could also be a talmid, a student of Bilam Harasha. And what that would mean, that would entail having an ayin ra'ah, an evil eye, v'ruach gavoa, an arrogant spirit, v'nefesh rechava, and a greedy soul. And it's because of his conceit, his haughtiness. Bilam dies in the war, next week's parsha. Here he could be a person who could bring great prophecy and great leadership to the world and make it a better place. And yet it's all about him, all about his ego, all about his self-enrichment and self-importance. Ego can get in the way of a person's life unless it's tempered and balanced with a sense of humility. My wife and I were listening to a podcast this week, and the interviewer, they were talking to one of the scientists responsible for creating the Pfizer vaccine. And this was a scientist who had overcome many, many challenges with her scientific work. And the interviewer said to her, how do you feel now that you have all this fame and that you've saved millions of lives? And her response, very humbly, was, I wish I hadn't become famous because of COVID. How many of us could say that we have saved millions of lives, have made this world a better place? That kind of humility has stayed with us this whole week. And that's the kind of humility I would like to have in my life. If you like what you've heard, please pass it on. As always, thanks for listening. Shabbat Shalom. Next week, I hope to be recording from Israel.